Senate Minority Leader Brian Jones visited our southern border today and called for a closure of the U.S.-Mexico border to new migrants. Senator Jones joins me now to talk more about what he saw on his visit. Senator, so good to see you.
Thank
welcome.
you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Well, before our interview, I did my fact checking and saw that the governor of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, he hasn't visited the southern border since December of 2022.
Right.
So it's great to hear that a state leader went out to the southern border. What did you see and who was with you today?
Well, it's a humanitarian and environmental disaster right now, and it's a crisis. You know, one of the things that the Border Patrol was very clear about is, you know, there's been over 200,000 immigrants cross our border this year, 1,200 a day that are coming across, and they're doing their very best job to figure out who it is, where they're coming from, where they're going, why they're coming. And the Border Patrols, you know, they have a job to do. Their job is to facilitate the legal crossing of the border of goods and people. And now we're being overwhelmed with illegal crossing of the border in an uncontained manner that is overwhelming their resources, and they're just not able to manage one of their major responsibilities. So what that's doing is it's causing them to ignore parts of their job that are very important, which is those goods crossing the border. So what was pointed out to me is, you know, historically on our southern border, crossing the border, are immigrants coming to work that are maybe escaping a poverty situation. They've got poor clothing on, lack of shoes, that kind of thing. That's not what they're seeing right now. They're seeing a very organized crossing from nationalities far away, West Africa, Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, and other countries that we've not seen in the past. And why are these people coming to America? Why are they so organized? And they're not seeing, you know, some of them are very well dressed and very well equipped when they get here. They got cell phones. They're in good health conditions. They're paying the cartel to get here. Some of them are flying into South America and then traversing the Darien Gap, which some of your viewers may be familiar with, one of the most dangerous jungles in the world, and then coming up through Central America and Mexico to get here. It's just unbelievable what's going on down there.
I was looking at the latest report from CBP, and over the weekend up until now, over 10,000 migrants have crossed the border and had encounters with Border Patrol. And it's putting a lot of strain on our county. Our own supervisors are trying to get federal funds. They just added an additional $3 million to the $3 million that was acquired in October or August. And your thoughts about that? $6 million so far to address this?
Sure. So first of all, it's not the county's responsibility to take care of this, right? This is a federal government issue, a federal government problem that the Biden administration is not handling and is ignoring, or maybe even compounding and making worse. The border is not closed, regardless of what the vice president says, regardless of what the president says, and the director of CBP. The border is not closed. People are coming at an alarming rate. The county's doing the best job it can with this federal issue dumped in their lap. And look, it's dumped in our lap because we're here on the border. And so they're funding this processing center so that the Border Patrol's not having to do street releases, which nobody wants a street release in their neighborhood of immigrants coming across the border where we don't know where they're coming from or where they're going or why. And so, you know, I think the county's been put in a very unfortunate situation where they're having to do the job that the federal government should be doing.
We've had local leaders on our station here at KUSI, and they say, no, you can't close a border. That's inhumane, and we need to have compassion. There's a lot of people who are struggling that are coming across, and they should focus on immigration reform. What would you say to those local leaders?
Well, we need to do immigration reform for sure, because what we're doing isn't working. And then I would counter that point. The people that are saying that need to go do a tour of the border, and I would bet that most of them have not. And because this is a myth now in America that we need to allow everybody to come that wants to come to work. The Border Patrol is very concerned that these people are not coming to work. They don't have that appearance, they don't have that history, and we've created, I would say that idea and that policy has created an inhumane situation. People walking from Central America to Mexico to get into the United States, that's not a humane situation. People paying thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in other countries to the Mexican cartels to ensure their safe passage into the United States and then taking advantage of them when they get here. That's not humane. The sexual assaults and the violent crimes that are happening in these immigrant communities as they come across the border, that's not humane. And so we've created this myth that really we need to start undoing here in our perception of what's happening on the border.
I wish we had more time, so much more to discuss, because many are wondering, why isn't our governor visiting our border right now when there's a crisis? It's getting worse and worse, as you were saying.
The crisis is worse, and unfortunately he's bought into that myth, and I think the only way to get people out of that mindset is for them to tour the border and see what I saw.
All right, Senator Jones, thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you
to
very
see
much.
you.